The assassination of President Abraham Lincoln on April 14, 1865, remains one of the most significant events in American history. It marked the first time a sitting president had been assassinated, and it had a profound impact on the nation. The events leading up to Lincoln's assassination were fraught with tension and division, as the Civil War had just come to an end and the country was grappling with the aftermath. The assassination itself was a shocking and tragic event that sent shockwaves throughout the nation. The official story of Lincoln's assassination. The official story of Lincoln's assassination is well known and widely accepted. On the night of April 14, 1865, President Lincoln and his wife Mary Todd attended a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer and actor, entered the presidential box and shot Lincoln in the back of the head. Lincoln was immediately rushed to a nearby boarding house where he died the following morning. The timeline of events on the night of the assassination is as follows. Booth entered Ford's Theater around 10 p.m. and made his way to the presidential box. He waited for a moment when the audience would be laughing at a line in the play to muffle the sound of his gunshot. At around 10:15 p.m., Booth entered the box and shot Lincoln. He then jumped onto the stage, breaking his leg in the process, and shouted, "Sic semper tyrannis," before fleeing. The role of John Wilkes Booth in the assassination. John Wilkes Booth was born into a prominent acting family in Maryland in 1838. He grew up idolizing his father, Junius Brutus Booth, who was known for his Shakespearean performances. However, Booth's sympathies lay with the Confederacy during the Civil War, and he became increasingly disillusioned with the Union cause. Booth meticulously planned and executed the assassination of President Lincoln. He had been plotting to kidnap Lincoln for several months but changed his plans after the Confederate surrender. Booth believed that by assassinating Lincoln, he could help revive the Confederate cause and strike a blow against the Union. He recruited a group of conspirators, including Lewis Powell, David Harold, George Atzerodt, and Mary Surratt, to assist him in his plot. Booth's motivations for assassinating Lincoln were complex. He was a staunch supporter of the Confederacy and saw Lincoln as the embodiment of everything he despised about the Union. Booth believed that by killing Lincoln, he could inspire others to rise up against the Union and help bring about a Confederate victory. He also saw himself as a martyr for the Southern cause and hoped that his actions would be remembered as heroic. The accomplices of John Wilkes Booth. John Wilkes Booth did not act alone in his plot to assassinate President Lincoln. He recruited several individuals to assist him in carrying out his plan. Lewis Powell, also known as Lewis Payne, was tasked with assassinating Secretary of State William H. Seward. David Harold was assigned to guide Powell to Seward's home and then help him escape. George Atzerodt was supposed to kill Vice President Andrew Johnson but lost his nerve at the last minute. Mary Surratt, a boarding house owner in Washington, D.C., was also involved in the conspiracy. She allowed Booth and his accomplices to meet at her boarding house and provided them with weapons and supplies. Surratt was eventually arrested and charged with conspiracy in Lincoln's assassination. She was found guilty and became the first woman to be executed by the United States federal government. The alleged involvement of the Confederate government. There has long been speculation and debate about the alleged involvement of the Confederate government in the assassination of President Lincoln. Some historians and conspiracy theorists believe that high-ranking Confederate officials, including President Jefferson Davis, Secretary of War Judah P. Benjamin, and General Robert E. Lee, were aware of Booth's plot and may have even sanctioned it. There is some evidence to support this theory. For example, Booth had connections to Confederate sympathizers and had met with Confederate agents in Canada prior to the assassination. Additionally, there were rumors that Confederate officials had offered a reward for the assassination of Lincoln. However, there is also evidence that refutes this theory. The Confederate government was in disarray at the time of Lincoln's assassination, and it is unlikely that they would have been able to coordinate such a complex plot. Furthermore, there is no concrete evidence linking Confederate officials to Booth's actions. The role of the secret society Knights of the Golden Circle. Another theory surrounding Lincoln's assassination involves the secret society known as the Knights of the Golden Circle. The Knights of the Golden Circle was a pro-Confederate organization that operated during the Civil War. Some believe that members of this society were involved in the plot to assassinate Lincoln. According to this theory, the Knights of the Golden Circle provided financial support and logistical assistance to Booth and his accomplices. They allegedly helped Booth escape after the assassination and provided him with safe houses and supplies. However, there is limited evidence to support this theory, and it remains largely speculative. The theory of a larger conspiracy involving high-ranking officials. One of the most controversial theories surrounding Lincoln's assassination is that it was part of a larger conspiracy involving high-ranking officials within the Union government. Some believe that Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton, Vice President Andrew Johnson, and other members of Lincoln's cabinet were involved in a plot to remove him from power. According to this theory, Stanton and his allies saw Lincoln as a hindrance to their plans for Reconstruction and wanted to replace him with Johnson, who they believed would be more compliant. They allegedly used Booth and his accomplices as pawns in their plot to assassinate Lincoln and frame the Confederate government. There is some evidence to support this theory. For example, Stanton had a strained relationship with Lincoln and had clashed with him over various policy issues. Additionally, there were inconsistencies in the official investigation into Lincoln's assassination, which some believe were deliberate attempts to cover up the involvement of high-ranking officials. However, there is also evidence that refutes this theory. The official investigation into Lincoln's assassination concluded that Booth acted alone and that there was no evidence of a larger conspiracy. Furthermore, there is no concrete evidence linking Stanton or any other high-ranking officials to the plot. The role of Mary Surratt in the conspiracy. Mary Surratt's involvement in the conspiracy to assassinate President Lincoln remains a subject of controversy and debate. Surratt was a boarding house owner in Washington, D.C., and she allowed Booth and his accomplices to meet at her boarding house. She also provided them with weapons and supplies. Surratt was eventually arrested and charged with conspiracy in Lincoln's assassination. She was found guilty by a military tribunal and sentenced to death. Her trial and execution were highly controversial, as many believed that she had been unfairly targeted because of her association with Booth. There is evidence to suggest that Surratt may have been aware of Booth's plans but did not actively participate in them. However, there is also evidence that she played a more active role in the conspiracy. For example, witnesses testified that Surratt had delivered messages for Booth and had been seen with him on multiple occasions. The controversial trial and execution of the conspirators. The trial and execution of the conspirators involved in Lincoln's assassination were highly controversial. The trial was conducted by a military tribunal rather than a civilian court, which many believed was a violation of the defendant's rights. Additionally, the evidence against some of the conspirators was circumstantial at best. Mary Surratt's trial and execution were particularly controversial. Many believed that she had been unfairly targeted because of her association with Booth and that she had not received a fair trial. There were also concerns about the legality of executing a woman. The controversy surrounding the trial and execution of the conspirators continues to this day. Some argue that they were denied due process and that their executions were unjust. Others believe that they received a fair trial and that their executions were justified given the severity of their crimes. The legacy of Lincoln's assassination and conspiracy theories. The assassination of President Lincoln had a profound impact on American history. It marked the end of the Civil War and the beginning of a new era of Reconstruction. Lincoln's death also had a lasting impact on the nation, as he became a martyr for the cause of freedom and equality. The assassination of President Lincoln has also given rise to numerous conspiracy theories. From allegations of Confederate involvement to claims of high-ranking officials' complicity, these theories continue to captivate the public's imagination. While many of these theories lack concrete evidence, they serve as a reminder of the enduring fascination with Lincoln's assassination and the unanswered questions that still surround it. The unanswered questions surrounding Lincoln's assassination. Despite over 150 years of investigation and research, there are still many unanswered questions surrounding the assassination of President Lincoln. The official story is widely accepted, but there are lingering doubts and suspicions about whether there was more to the plot than meets the eye. The importance of continuing to investigate and explore these questions cannot be overstated. By seeking answers to these unanswered questions, we can gain a deeper understanding of this pivotal moment in American history and shed light on the motivations and actions of those involved. Only by uncovering the truth can we truly honor the memory of President Lincoln and the legacy he left behind. Embark on a captivating journey through history with Presidential Secrets, Oval Office Conspiracies, as it unveils the chilling narrative surrounding Abraham Lincoln's assassination. This riveting book meticulously unravels the layers of conspiracy that shrouded one of the most tragic moments in American history. From the infamous night at Ford's Theater to the mysterious figures involved, readers will be gripped by the suspenseful retelling of the events leading up to and following Lincoln's untimely demise. Presidential Secrets delves into the covert plots and hidden agendas that have long fueled speculation about the true circumstances surrounding the assassination. With a careful blend of historical accuracy and narrative flair, this book, available on Amazon, promises to transport readers to a time of political upheaval and clandestine machinations, making it a must-read for history enthusiasts and conspiracy aficionados alike. Uncover the secrets that linger within the hallowed halls of the Oval Office, where history and mystery converge in this compelling exploration.